Hi, I'm Tanya Cabala with the Muskegon Channel, and we are at the Playhouse at White Lake this afternoon to talk to Mayor Debi Hillebrand and Playhouse Manager Beth Beamen.
Yes.
And so, the big question is, what do you think people are going to think about when they drive past the Playhouse and see all the changes?
Well, I'll answer that first. I think they will be impressed by the size of the addition, and if actually the where that we're looking out right now, and you can see all of these beautiful windows looking out on the street, and you can see the bed and breakfast right here across the street, and kitty corner and next door, and this beautiful light coming through, and then you can see that we have a skylight that actually shines light on the original facade of the building, and I think that will be very impressive, and I think that people will appreciate the fact that even though a lot of things have changed, it's all still here. The original Playhouse is still here, and it wouldn't have been had we not done what we've done.
Well, why? I'm now Mayor Hillebrand, of course. The city of Whitehall owns the theater, and I think we got it in 2006. The city
Yes.
did. Why is it important that the city has the theater and has taken on such a big renovation?
It's a treasure. It's an absolute treasure for our community. It draws our community together. It's a great gathering spot. Has been for more than 100 years. I think it's important to maintain that, to increase it, and to attract tourism, as well as keep our community a gathering spot for our community.
Well, it was founded and built in 1916 as a place for people to do community theater. Are we still keeping that theme?
We do. We have our summer theater festival in the summer, which this year it's 7 weekends of shows. We have a combination of community players as well as some professional and equity actors that come in, and we do the 7 weekends. So yeah, and we are definitely looking at revitalizing the White Lake Dramatic Club once we get things reopen again and make this more of a community theater organization and a place for people to come and do shows again. So yeah.
What do you think the original patrons, would think of all the changes? Because 100 years ago they banded together to build this, and it cost a little bit of money. And then the theater has had its ups and downs. What do you think they would think now?
Well, honestly, that's a question that's come up. With making the changes, and I have approached it in the way that this was not meant to be a museum. It was meant to be a theater. It was meant to be a performance space. It was meant to be a community gathering space. And so in order for us to accommodate the growth in this community, as well as handicap and safety accessibility issues, we really needed to do what we've done. And so I think they would be thrilled by the fact that it's still here, that it's still being used for the purposes it was in 1916 when they put it together. So I think they would be thrilled.
What do you think the city's biggest challenges has been as far as such a huge renovation? Maybe Debi?
Yeah. Well, I think, with any kind of project like this, everybody has an opinion. And, I live next door, so I've gotten lots of comments, what do they do with the front? And I think it was today that
the paper came down, yes.
And so for a long time it's been covered up, so you couldn't really see, unless you, peeked in through the ends, you couldn't really see what was going on back here. So I think it's going to be a big surprise to people that you can still see the original facade and all of that. The biggest challenge has probably just been trying to field all of those questions. I know Beth gets them, Scott gets them, I get them. Lots of people have curiosity and interest, and it should be this way, should be that way, and to try to field all of that and still come together with a good project at the end is a big challenge.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Well,
So
what was the major goal? I mean, obviously we're in a huge lobby, which is a big change. But what are some of the other needs that have come about through the renovation?
our biggest challenge in the space before was handicap accessibility and safety for patrons as well as performers. So one of the things that we've done is we've created, in the addition, it's a 7,000 square foot addition. We have our stage and our backstage areas are completely handicap accessible. We have handicap accessible toilets, which we never had before. If you're a performer, you can get backstage. If it's kind of amazing. We really took the time to look at what do we need to do in this space to really welcome patrons with all abilities. We do have several handicap accessible seating options in the Playhouse itself. We had them in the back, and if you get an opportunity to take a look, I would encourage you to do that. There's 2 really nice boxes in the back that are for accessible seating, but we also have seats in the house that are removable for wheelchair access, and some swing arm seats that are available for easy transferring. So we really put some great thought into that, and we really want to be accessible for our patrons. We also have a hearing loop, which has been added for our hard of hearing patrons. So I think that's a big one. I know that we had several patrons prior to the renovation that if they tried to come in and they just couldn't enjoy the show because they couldn't hear. So I think those are some of our biggest things, and really were at the top of my list as far as things that needed to be addressed in this edition.
Well, and I think we have some safety issues too, didn't we?
Yeah.
Not only for people coming to the theater, but some of the actors and actresses, performers.
Oh yeah, I mean the backstage areas were pokey at best, and the stage was extremely uneven. Our hemp and sandbag rigging, which was what the building was built with, was really unmanageable. And the stairs were uneven, they were narrow, access, we didn't have proper dressing rooms. You'd have to go down in the basement to put on your makeup, and it wasn't a great space, and wasn't really accessible. So I think we really did do a good job on addressing that in this renovation and addition.
So when will this all be unveiled to the community?
On June 26th, we have our open house and our ribbon cutting, and it will be right here at the Playhouse. We'll do it outside for the ribbon cutting, and come on inside. We're opening it to the public from 5 to 8. We'll have some tours, some tour guides kind of posted about to answer questions. We'll have refreshments here. The Hillebrand boys and Tommy Foster will be here playing music, and we'll just be here to celebrate all that this community has done, and the generosity of the people in this area to really support this place. And we're so excited to have it opened. I can hardly wait.
And Beth is doing a countdown on Facebook, so if you go to the Facebook page, you'll be able to see the countdown of every day.
Yep.
So that's exciting.
Every day, and we are so close.
Where can people find out more information?
On our website at the Playhouse at whitelake.org. We're also on Facebook, and lots of information gets shared on Facebook. And you can always call City Hall, and I'm happy to answer questions. Debi is certainly available to answer questions. But we are thrilled. It's been almost 2 years since we started this project, and even though it's been a long time, this really, it gave us the chance to address the things and think about things that maybe had we been in a position where we were rushing this, that we may have missed. So even though we're really anxious and excited to open, I think we were smart.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anything else, Debbie?
I don't think so. We're, like Beth said, we're just all super excited. I mean, again, I live next door. Just watching it all come together, I feel lucky to have had a front row seat. A lot of people complain about construction or traffic or whatnot, but for me, it's just exciting to watch it come together. It's a great piece on this block.
Well, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.